Ever wonder if a few simple phrases could be the secret to unlocking a higher score on your IELTS speaking test? Well, today we're diving deep into the power of idiomatic expressions. I mean, really think about that. It might sound a little too good to be true, but trust me, mastering a handful of natural-sounding phrases really can be the key to proving just how good your English is. And that's exactly what we're going to break down in this explainer.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking some expert advice straight from IELTS guide Phil to help you master these expressions and finally hit that target band score you've been working for.
So, what's the big deal with idioms anyway? Why all the fuss? Well, according to IELTS guide Phil, using them correctly is an absolutely fantastic way to boost your lexical resource score. It shows a really high level of proficiency and adds this natural, fluent quality to your speech that honestly, examiners are seriously impressed by. Okay, here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to cover exactly why idioms are so powerful. Then, we'll get into the fun stuff, specific, high-impact phrases for Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 of the test. And to wrap it all up, we'll go over some pro-level strategies to make sure you're using them absolutely perfectly. Sound good?
Let's dive right into Part 1. Now, you know these are the warm-up questions, right? They're about familiar topics like your hobbies or your daily life. The real key here is to use simple, relevant idioms, but sparingly. Just a little sprinkle here and there to add some color to your answers.
Let's kick things off with a classic you probably already know. Piece of cake. This is just the perfect idiom to pull out when you want to describe something that you find incredibly easy.
So, for instance, if you're asked about a hobby,
just listen to how much more natural and fluent this sounds. It's way better than just saying, cooking is very easy for me. It just has a better ring to it.
All right, next up, we've got a breath of fresh air. This one is just a fantastic way to describe an activity or maybe a place that feels new, refreshing, and really helps you to unwind.
You see how perfectly that fits into a chat about your daily routine or how you relax? It's simple, it's super effective, and it shows a really great command of everyday English.
Okay, let's level up to Part 2, the long turn. This is your moment to shine. You've got 1 to 2 minutes, and believe me, the right idiom here can make your story truly vivid and memorable.
So, when you need to describe a really significant experience, like a personal achievement or a super happy memory, an idiom like on cloud nine is just perfect for getting that strong emotion across.
I think pretty much all of us can relate to this one, right? It's just such a powerful and relatable way to say you were extremely happy. It's so much more descriptive than just saying, I was very happy.
Now, if your cue card asks you to describe a place you've visited off the beaten track, is a fantastic one to have in your back pocket. It describes a place that's, unique and not completely overrun with tourists. This is just a perfect example of how an idiom can literally paint a picture for the examiner. It instantly makes you think of a quiet, authentic place, and that adds some real depth to your description.
All right, on to the big one, Part 3. This is where the conversation gets a lot more abstract and analytical. So the idioms you use here should really reflect that deeper level of thinking. Okay, time for a more sophisticated idiom, a double-edged sword. This one is absolutely perfect for Part 3, where you're often asked to discuss topics that have both pros and cons.
Take technology, for example. You could say something like, well, technology is really a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's amazing for global communication, but on the other hand, it can definitely reduce our face-to-face interaction. Using this shows the examiner you can analyze a topic from multiple sides.
Here's another really powerful idiom for Part 3, food for thought. You can use this to show that a topic has actually made you stop and think more deeply about it.
See, using a phrase like this signals to the examiner that you're not just giving some surface-level opinion. It shows you've genuinely engaged with the complexity of the topic.
So we have all these great idioms, but let's be real. How do we actually use them like a pro? Let's break down the key strategies from IELTS guide Phil for using them naturally and, most importantly, effectively.
First, and this is huge, you've got to keep it natural. 1 or 2 well-placed idioms are so much better than 10 that just feel forced. Second, if you happen to use a less common idiom, don't be afraid to quickly clarify what you mean. Third, and this is so important, practice them in mock sessions until they feel completely automatic. And finally, always adapt. Pick the idiom that actually fits the question you're being asked.
So here's the bottom line. The crucial point is this. Mastering idioms isn't about memorizing a giant list. It's about adding richness, depth, and a natural flow to your speaking, which is exactly what examiners are looking for in a high band score candidate.
Ready to take the next step on your IELTS journey? For a much deeper dive, you've got to check out the full guide over at IELTSGuidePhil.com. Make sure you subscribe here for more explainers just like this one, and definitely join the Facebook community for extra support. All those links are right there in the description below. Oh, and for personalized feedback, just comment "coaching" to learn all about IELTS Guide Phil's coaching services. So, are you ready to put all this into practice? I want to know. Let me know in the comments, which idiom from today's explainer are you going to try and use first? Thanks so much for watching, and good luck with your prep.